Maxine is doing an argument.
I know, I've taken it to the...
Expected that during over 7 days flight, suddenly we got a verdict, and they're being brought back to the court, and they will be asked for their verdict on each and every one of those charges. They will also individually be asked how they voted as jurors, check what is that, and we will discover whether a Republican has become the first ever president in the history of the United States being convicted of crime. 12 hours and those 12 men and women, 7 men, 5 women, have come to the decision from Trump's very shortly to discover whether or not
Hey, everybody. If you are seeing what I'm seeing, Donald Trump has been convicted on all charges. Yeah, this definitely, without question, a historic moment. So I saw that sign there a couple moments ago before what you see on your screen, Trump convicted on all charges, showed up on the screen. And for those joining via radio and Twitter Spaces, we are live right now with Yergz Media. Donald Trump has been convicted on all charges. So I'm realizing that some of the platforms we try to be on, this was so rushed, we're not actually on them. How is New York City not one of the... Oh, there it is. If you're on Yergz Radio and not seeing the screen, or if you're on Twitter Spaces at Yerger Ross, or if you're just joining, the verdict is in, and apparently the news is out. Trump has been convicted on all charges. while we're waiting to hear anything else, putting my 21 years to good use, I like to think. In my opinion, this was a rather fast decision. That means one thing: clear cut evidence against the former president. When a jury comes back fast, it's either really good news or really bad news. And that's kind of obvious that, the decision is made. But what it also says is that literally it was a fast decision, meaning that there was nothing really to think over. When a jury deliberates, the longer the jury deliberates, the likelier you'll see a not guilty. Statistics show that a long deliberation in a criminal case goes in the favor of the defense. A fast verdict like this, it means the case was pretty clear cut. One of our consultants, John J. Wiley, is live in his room. We might try to do something. I wish I knew what all of my shit. Signing into Clubhouse right now, which is on a desktop version called something called Club Deck, and it's taking a little bit. I'm guessing that it's busy. Don the Felon is one of the hurriedly made signs. Looks like spray paint on a white sheet. Yeah, I'm not able to log into Club Deck because that's how many people are using it from home right now. Clubhouse is a communication app that is just a mobile app, and that's the platform, is Clubhouse. Club Deck is made by a third-party company and for Clubhouse. And apparently they don't have quite the... Oh, there we go. We're in.
The listens are super important, but the downloads propel you to get listened to. So that's where I see this tricky balance in my mind.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Is that the new name of the room now, John? Just thoughts?
Thoughts?
Well,
that's going to be a topic for another future.
What is the topic going to be? Thoughts or chicken or the egg?
Your thoughts, whatever you're thinking.
He's coming out,
John. I actually have a song I released quite a while ago, and it's called Thoughts, and it has me in there. So I'll have to pull that up and make it the theme song or something for the here.
Unless you have Vincent Price's voiceover doing that.
Well, it's me. It sounds pretty good. It's me.
They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a so-respect DA and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man. And it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is
that
being
right
rigged
there.
right now. This was done by the.
That's the part that I don't like. I've called this. I said the indictments were going to happen. I said he was going to be found guilty. He is not fighting for this country. And that's one thing I challenge the Biden administration to do better with and tell the people that.
Decline, serious decline, millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists.
Also not true. Not even close to true.
A country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for a convicted felon?
Are you going to try that out?
You believe in the rule of law?
You trust the jury?
Yeah, fair question. Fair question. Do you trust the jury? They said they trusted the jury. They said all they needed was one honest member of that jury. One of those members was actually a supporter. Like I said earlier, when it comes back that fast, it's pretty obvious what the decision's going to be. Fast does not necessarily mean guilty. Fast means clear cut. Now he's going to have an appeals process that you heard right there. He's going to be engaging in. Sorry about your luck, Donald. What's that the kids are saying these days? Sorry, not sorry. I know what radio show I'm going to be listening to tomorrow. The Howard Stern Show. All right, I'll keep. Yeah, we're waiting. Yeah, we're not waiting anymore. Can take that piece of excitement down. So there it is, gang. I am late for another call. But yeah, guilty on all charges. And that, I'm not going to beat this like a dead horse, but all charges. So that 444 thing came very irrelevant. Matt Deemer just popped in. Let's bring him on and say hello. Hey, man.
What's up, Ross?
History's being made today, brother.
Well, it's the first start of a lot of history that's going to be made, and we're going to have to see how this all rolls out. What's your prediction of, you probably already said this, but what's your prediction about how it's going to roll out?
Well, so I said this already. I remember being on Biden's campaign, or excuse me, Biden's parade route, dressed like the guys you see in the screen. And I just turned my head and said to a bunch of other agents and some other officers, he's going to be indicted, isn't he? And there was like a hush. And then there was like peace, because nobody died by me asking that question. Here's the kicker to that. We weren't talking about Donald Trump. We weren't talking about anything. But when I said he's going to be indicted, they knew who I was talking about. And that was only weeks after January 6th.
Right. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that he's going to do jail time? Do you think that, because I know one thing that they were talking.
Well, not right away. We talked about that earlier. Yeah, we talked about that. He's not going to go right away, but
I know that they were talking to Secret Service about what's the logistics of taking him away. Because again, unprecedented. Do you even have a route to take the president to jail?
So I've heard that they're going to have people in the jail with him if it comes to that. I mean,
Oh, you mean like Secret Service members?
yeah, he's going to have a detail in prison, is what I've been.
That's crazy. I never thought about that.
Because for us, the way they're seeing it, guilty or innocent has nothing to do with it. We protect former presidents
Yeah.
for life. The end.
He's you're sending him in here with a crew so he could be a kingpin in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. judging by the high fives that used to go on in security rooms and things like that when press about him came out in a positive light, I'm guessing there could be a posse, a crew.
So would this be a permanent detail, or would it be a rotating shift where you have like 8 hours, some guy comes in, comes out? That'd be a logistical nightmare for the security of the jail, no?
So when he was president, we had a detail in New York City in addition to the New York field office and in addition to the Clinton detail that was just assigned to Trump Tower. And there were certain things that they kept secure while he was away. When he came to Trump Tower, those numbers beefed up. Biden in Delaware right now is the same thing. There's a permanent detail just at the House. There's a permanent detail just at the White House. So none of that changes. Now there'll be a lot less at Mar-a-Lago. Well, I don't even want to say that because Melania would still be there. And while she doesn't get the level that he does, that's still listed as his primary residence, whether he likes it or not. And that's another thing. They're not permitted to do, they're only permitted to do certain things per residence. For example, Hillary's house in DC was not as beefed up as their house in Chappaqua because that was the primary residence. She had I was part of that detail and I lived in DC, and she had some cool toys set up around the house, but not quite as cool as Bill's or theirs in New York, because that was the primary residence. Yeah, I think the thing that comes to mind that is similar in Secret Service history is September 11th. A week before September 11th, Secret Service management had recently completed what's called a tabletop exercise. Meaning they sit in a boardroom with other law enforcement partners and they do a what if. And the what if was, what if we're attacked in a huge fashion? And essentially moving chess pieces around a boardroom desk, or on, more than likely today, advanced things on a computer system. And one of those things was the expansion of the perimeter around the White House. 17th and 18th Street were closed to the west, and nothing in between, allowed. On the east side, 15th and 14th Street were closed. And then north of G Street and all the way down to Constitution is already closed. And then when things died down a little bit, they shrunk in. When I started there a week after September 11th, it got pulled back to 17th Street. There was no vehicle or pedestrian traffic, and not even pedestrian traffic. If you work at the McDonald's on 17th Street that Bill used to go to, you ain't going to work today. That's it. It's been declared a federal protective zone. And you don't need to be there.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so a lot of that, because it was just practiced a week earlier, a lot of it was, okay, we've got to adjust and make this different or better or whatever you want to say. Now, adjusting isn't, that's an understatement.
How many people's Twitters and emails and text messages are blowing up right now? Mine is just a free flow of people commenting and giving opinions.
Oh,
and
yeah. I have every Tuesday and Thursday, I have a club deck call that I go on, and I do it from here, so I don't use Club Deck. Clubhouse. Clubhouse is like, Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. And well, they don't have a desktop version. The desktop version is called Club Deck, the first thing I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
It's a third-party application. So it's not as sexy as Clubhouse or Twitter or whatever. It took me about good 45 seconds to log in today because everybody's talking about it. And everybody's home, sitting by a TV or at their desk. Or for that matter, still at their desk, at work. I didn't check out what any of these feeds. What's everybody saying?
I'm just trying to keep up with this. Just a lot of obviously every congressperson is making a statement. Orange is the new orange from Anthony Scaramucci. Tucker Carlson just tweeted, important the third world become the third world. That's just what we saw. This won't stop Trump. Max Miller just tweeted, Congressman Max Miller just tweeted, witch hunt. This utterly ridiculous political outcome is abhorrent to our constitutional republic. We all know the truth, and the truth will still prevail. This won't stop him from making America great again. I just tweeted guilty. Obviously, everybody knows what that means, and it didn't get any likes.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention to me either.
I mean, it's just there's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of different people you're going to pay attention to before. Anyway, so breaking down Trump was guilty. This is from Unusual Wales. My favorite one is this one. Maybe you can put this on the screen.
Good.
I sent it to you in the chat.
Okay.
If everybody pays attention to pop culture, you'll get that one.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how I can switch that now.
Let me see here. A lot of news reports, a lot of people but I haven't heard anybody say what they think is going to happen. Again, this is really interesting. I mean, look, as much as we're going to applaud this, right? He's guilty, yada yada. Sure, this changes the dynamic of America. Yeah, that was hilarious. Why am I blanking on his name? What's his name?
That's the guy from Saturday Night Live.
Right.
Yeah, I can't do it now either. Hold on.
I'm just blanking. Whatever. I'm just horrible on these kind of stupid names. What is his name? He was with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian for a dude from SNL. What's the dude's name? I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. Oh, Pete Davidson. All right.
That's
So
it. Yeah.
yes, Pete.
He's the one whose dad died in September 11th.
Yes, exactly. Which he
private
makes a lot of jokes about. Anyway, so people who are just listening, this is Pete Davidson holding the hands of Melania Trump after Trump goes to jail. As we know that when Kanye split up with Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson swooped in. Hilarious. Anyway, I don't know if you addressed this, but as much as we want to cheer this as a nation, we also have to be very cautious. And I don't think that I am very cautious of the Democratic Party, which of course they're already there, applauding this, dancing, breaking out the booze, having a fiesta, whatever they're doing. It's, having a big party about this. This turns America into an unprecedented time. And this is seriously an unprecedented time. This is not we're using this for political, superlatives. We're saying that this is literally an unprecedented time where a former president is convicted of a crime, 34 counts of crimes, and there is going to be a sentencing, and we don't know what that looks like. We also don't know what that's going to do politically, how it's going to polarize people, and as much as we want to applaud this move, we also have to be very cautious about the future of America, because it's things like this that are the spark to the to the gasoline, right?
Yeah.
So I think that everybody should just take a deep breath and go, let's just hope everything moves forward within our institutions, within the rule of law, that everything is kosher, and that we do not have a powder keg from this.
What if President Biden were to do some sort of formal request to the governor of New York for a pardon?
Then he'll lose the election.
You think Biden will?
Oh, 100%. This is not a time for, look, no, absolutely not. Absolutely would lose the election. Don't you think? This isn't a time where you take the olive branch.
That's the, if he says, because he can't pardon Trump, it's not a federal crime.
Right.
But the New York governor can.
Right.
And so if he's the one that initiates that, to me, that looks like the olive branch. Hey, we won. He can go on. We won in 2020.
We didn't win. This is the justice. I don't want to say we won.
Well, no, in that case,
right.
We won.
Justice won.
Society. Well, society won in 2020.
It's as long as we're using that framing. We did not say we.
Yeah. We know he's been found guilty, is my point. He can continue. He now has his free speech back. He can continue saying whatever he wants about Judge Merchan. I, Joe Biden, am talking about the facts. And I'm challenging him to step up here beside of me and have that conversation. Still not? You like it?
Here's the thing. Is on our In the Middle show that we just did earlier today. Aren't you supposed to be flying, by the way?
It's not till 9:00, but I do need to go pack and feed my dog, and I think my son's back. He just finished registering for college today.
So well, congrats to him.
Yeah.
So no, here's the thing is, we were just talking about In the Middle a little bit ago, how Biden has been very wishy-washy, trying to be friends with everybody with a lot of these very polarizing issues. And and he really needs just to say, this is how I feel, this is what we stand for, and we move forward no matter who he pisses off, right? Because what he's doing is really sending a very undecisive signal, not only to candidates, but to the party, to America, to people who are watching America for leadership. And if this would be the same thing. This is saying, for the past almost 4 years, we've been saying that he's guilty on something, that all these charges are coming out, that he cannot be president again. And then right when you get a guilty verdict that was in a court of law, with jurors of his peers, you come out and say, well, that was enough, we're going to just call this. No, the whole thing that we're seeing is not everybody saying not above the law, so on and so forth. This has to come to fruition. Again, this might be one of those cases where be careful what you wish for. But if you can't take the stand of
we lost him. You
who,
still
me?
there? Yeah, you cut out. It might be one of those cases. What?
This can't be one of the cases where this might be one of the cases where it's be careful what you wish for, right? And we don't know what the end result of this is going to be, but to be wishy-washy on that fact of this is going through a court of law through the process with a jury of his peers, then I think that he will lose. Biden will lose the rest of any support that he would have. This would not be looked at as a noble gesture. This would be looked at as weakness and a kind of flip-flop of what the Democratic Party has been saying for so long of Trump will be a danger to America in his presidency, yada yada. Is he or is he not?
But you don't think it'll also give Biden? I mean, yeah, I don't disagree that he's putting his administration at risk and subsequently the country. But if everybody's been right all along this whole time, 2020, now what's going to change? Besides the fact that Trump could win, I get that. But I'm saying that this is extending an olive branch. This is an opportunity to at least allow the members of the MAGA cult to embrace something centrist and not do like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who posts a flag on Twitter upside down.
I think that you extend the olive branch after you win the war, but this is only a battle. And so, fine, get to November, win the election, figure out what happens, make sure this country doesn't go into a powder keg situation, and then extend the olive branch. Sure, not right now, not between now and November.
All right.
I got a public statement to go write. So, excuse me, Yergz. Thank you for inviting me to pop up and say some words.
I got a plane to catch.
And hey, sorry again about your loss, and I hope you have a great weekend catching up with the family at least.
Yeah, well, a day, but yeah, we'll do it. And I'm sure I'm going to have all kinds of questions to answer once I get where I'm going.
All right, sir. I'll talk to you.
All right, buddy. See you in a week. Matt Deemer joining, checking in. I still say do it now. And say that's what you're doing. Is that you're extending the olive branch to the country. That's what Ford did. Matt's right. He did take a hit when he did it. But historically, he is looked upon as having done the right thing. Shouldn't we do the right thing now, the first time? And that's just the history degree talking. We're not going to be live until Friday night when there he is coming out of the courthouse now. Let me put that back on. There's Pete. I can't believe I couldn't think of Pete Davidson. So he just got in that lower Suburban. What you're seeing there is the spare on the left. That screen, it's on the bottom right for those just listening. There's 3 Suburbans, and they're in a triangular formation with the center area being shielded as, a safe area because those are armored cars. The one on the bottom right is the limo. The one on the left is the spare limo, which you'll see pull out first. And then the one in the top right in the back is the follow-up. If you were seeing that a little closer, that's where all the suits that are getting in a car got into. The follow-up is the shift vehicle. Those are the guys that go with him wherever. We just lost a feed. See if I can get that back. There we go. Back from commercial. So there's the spare pulling out now. That's the limo falling in. And the follow-up. They're not going... Sorry, gang. They're not going to Rikers Island yet. But that could be soon. All right, well, there you have it. I do have a plane to catch. I do have a dog to feed. I do have a son to talk with and say hello to. Guilty. All right, gang. We will see you once I get back from Pennsylvania. Once again, you've been up the middle. Hey, gang. This is Up the Middle with your hosts on the right, the homeless conservative Blake Fisher, and on the left, the Democratic nominee for Congress in the 7th District of Ohio, Matt Deemer. And somewhere in the middle, I'm retired Secret Service Special Agent Ross Yergz. You'll come to know me as Yergz. Let's get to it.